When DV 2025 started, Accra was so slow. But do you know Accra is actually doing wonders right now when it comes to approved visas? That is what we are here to give you. Kelvin and I are here. We're bringing you the DV statistics for 2025. We're not talking about the new DV that the result just came out. No, we are talking about the old one that has been ongoing. It's been pending, right? Kelv, mind-blowing data. Mind-blowing data. Do you know when Kelvin came up to me and was like, hey, we got a new data, and he said, it's crazy. I said, really? Wow, let's go and break it down. So we're not going to waste that much time because we have a lot to talk about today. So let's kick straight into it. This is the 27th of May DV 2025 statistics. This is the DV that people entered last year that is being processed this year. Okay. Yeah. With numbers starting with AF 2025 or whatever country that you're on. AF,
it's
Asia,
2025 AF, then your
2025
number.
AF. That's right. Then your number. So now we are starting with Accra. Let's look at what is going on in Accra. Kelvin, take it away.
Okay. So we look at Accra. Accra has 482 cases. Previously, Accra had 452, but recently it has increased to 482 because they have updated or added new people to the list.
Wow.
Yes.
So Accra, congratulations to Accra. I am telling you, this year Accra is breaking record upon record. Kelvin, let's go ahead.
Okay, so the next one that we have is the issued cases. Now Accra has been able to issue 285 people and has refused 77 people, and also we have 22 refused under law.
Okay.
Those under administrative processing are 5. Then we have 93 ready cases.
If you are here, you are watching us, one of the things that we want you to know, maybe you went to the embassy for your interview and you got a letter saying that refuse under law, right? Normally, when you get refused under law, they give you a separate sheet, okay? We've been getting a lot of that in Accra lately, and it doesn't mean it's the end of the game. So I want you to keep your fingers crossed, keep on praying, because it's not the end of the game, okay? A lot of people go, they take their passport and they say, hey, right now, do you know, Kelvin, even if your medicals is not ready, they put you under refuse under law.
Yes, they put you either one of them, refuse
under law or administrative processing. But
so the first one you're going to see is the refuse under law. So about, I think, 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and now they move you to the administrative processing. Then at the administrative processing, whereby you are going to have about 60 days, that is 2 months, to get a new update of what they think about it.
Right. Now, we're giving you this information. A lot of people might be asking, well, how you guys are spitting out numbers here, like how long is going to take for this and this, as if you work with the embassy. It's not like we work with the embassy. We work with a lot of clients. We do have a lot of clients. So if you are here watching us, before we move on to the next slide, the next country, we work with a lot of clients. We help a lot of DV lottery winners. If you're part of a winner this year, 2026 DV lottery, you can contact us. Currently, we have about 2 winners we're dealing with this year. They are our main client. We are watching out for them. We're looking at the numbers. We are pairing them to go and ace it and get going. So if in case you want to reach out to us, you want the DV lottery, you're confused, there's a lot of information, check the description for our number below. Okay, Kelvin, just like I promised, we're going to be fast. Let's move on to Sierra Leone 2025, 29th May. Let's go.
Yes. So for Sierra Leone, right? Sierra Leone actually couldn't increase their total case numbers. So they still have the 79. Now looking at them, they have 44 issued cases, 6 refused cases, and 19 refused under law, then 2 administrative processing cases. They also have 8 ready cases.
8 ready cases.
Yeah.
Wow. You see, nowadays, this country, when it comes to Sierra Leone and other African countries compared to Accra, everybody would tell you, go to Sierra Leone, go here, go to Togo, avoid Accra. And in 2025, we are seeing the tables turn. And now it seems like even Sierra Leone, people in Sierra Leone probably want to come to Accra because
because Sierra Leone is kind of slow.
Yeah, and Accra is,
I think they are working with some kind of numbers they intend to move on with, because their numbers are not increasing, it's just the same, just working with some few numbers and stuff.
Right. And if you're here, this is a good data for you to be actually taking and making a decision where to take your case. Okay, I'm going to be giving advice at the end of the video, so make sure you watch till the end of the video. Advice on all the new winners who have cases numbers. Where should you take your case to? Which embassy should you take your case? Should you stay in your home country or should you move it to another country? Especially if you're in Accra, right? We deal with a lot of Accra clients, so we're going to be talking about that. Kelvin, let's do Liberia on the 27th of May. What's going on in Liberia?
Liberia is also doing very well, because when you look at the total cases that it's shown on the screen, we have 487, right? But previously it was 424.
Wow.
And that data was even from 17th of May, 424. Wow. They've gotten a lot of total cases. That is the 487 now. They have issued cases of 198, refused cases 84, 60 refused under law, 22 administrative processing, and 123 ready cases.
Wow. Just to talk a little bit about, Liberia. It seems like Ghana is still on top of these two countries, Sierra Leone and Liberia, in terms of issued visas, right? Not total ready cases, but in terms of issued visas, Ghana started off slow. But do you know something that Kelvin has done interestingly? Kelvin has introduced a new bar chart that we can see it in a graph form. So it will make much more sense. So we're not even going to spend time and talk about how, it started off and how it has been increasing. So now let's just go straight into Togo. A lot of people have been requesting that we add Togo to the list, so we made that request possible. Kelvin, take it away with the Togo stats 27th of May. Ooh, Togo is looking good.
We've not been following Togo for a long time. So I heard people saying Togo, I want to go to Togo because Togo is doing well and all those kind of things. So I actually had time to actually investigate more into Togo. And I saw that for Togo, every week they increase their total cases. Wow. Every week they increase, because from 1st March, they had 474. 8th March increased to 488.
Wow.
15th March, 498. It looks like they are increasing by 10. But some of them will be 6 and huge numbers. Right now, the current data that we have is 566.
Wow.
With the total cases. So for them, every week they have new cases being added on. Yes.
Togo is looking good. Looking good. I mean, hey, this is the first time I'm looking at, aside from the when we say great African country, we're talking about the A-list. The A-list African country, like, what is it? Egypt? Is it Egypt?
Egypt, Addis Ababa.
And all that. Those are the A-list. With them, we don't even compare them to the West African countries, right? Now, these are the West African countries arena that we are playing right now. And it looks like Togo is really doing amazing. 566 cases. Kelvin, go.
Yeah. So they have 321 issued cases, 42 refused cases, 22 refused under law, 2 administrative processing, and 225 ready cases.
So we're talking about in the total, if they finish, they clear this 225 cases, they're getting close to 1,000.
Yes.
And do you know the funny thing? Togo usually do not have Togo's population compared to Ghana, obviously it's not the same. And the amount of people who registered for DV lottery in Togo is not the same as Ghana. So you can tell that a lot of people are doing their interviews there. If you really look at how their numbers are going, because usually Togo don't like exactly. Yeah, if you leave it up to the citizens, I don't think they will be doing this huge amount of numbers. So this clearly shows that there's a lot of people pushing their cases there. Unfortunately, we do not have any sort of data that shows that there are other African countries pushing to other African countries, unless if it's maybe Europe and then an African country. That's when you can, correlate the data and all that stuff. But we still have a lot to talk about. Let's look at the trend. Ooh, and we are going to start with Ghana. I think Ghana here is on the list.
So looking at the trends, right, we see that from 1st March,
now, before you even talk about the trend, let's just give them a little description here, Kelv. Can you highlight, tell them the colors, the meaning of the colors and all that?
Okay, so the ready cases are those in blue.
Ready cases in blue.
The administrative processing are those in the pink color. And refuse under law is red, orange, a little bit red, orange. Then the refuse is orange. Then we have the issued, which is the yellow.
Right. So guys, if you're watching us, this is the same numbers represented to you, but we wanted to see it in a graph form, because that's when you can really see the trend of how basically a country is doing, or embassy is doing week by week. So this is week by week, right?
Yes.
Okay, this is week by week. All right, take it away, Kel.
So looking at the first 2 weeks, that is the 1st March and 8th March, they were in a lot of issued, refused, and all those kind of things. Even though they were, but the number is below even 50 or 20. That's why we are not seeing it clearly, or it's not zoomed to that part.
Right.
So it kind of moved a little bit forward up to 24th May, which we can see that the number of issued cases are a lot. Because when you look at the last part of it, the issued cases are a lot than the refused cases and the refused under law and the administrative processing.
And do you know something interesting that I'm seeing in this graph? It's almost like it's so beautiful. You can just see the trend with the way that the ready cases. It seems like the embassy in Accra was a bit slow, and all of a sudden you saw this gradual move.
Do you know what has just popped up in my mind right now?
What is it?
It's like when you go online, just type $1 to Ghana cedis. That's the same slope we are seeing over here. Reducing in terms of ready cases.
So are you trying to now? Kelvin is over here comparing the embassy of Accra trend graph to how the dollar and the cedis is behaving right now.
Yes.
Oh my God,
they can just go and compare and see that the slope looks the same.
So does that mean that if Ghana is doing well in currency,
yes,
it puts pressure on the embassy of Accra?
No, this one, it doesn't connect with that. But I'm just visualizing it just because of what I see
Right.
and what is happening between the dollar and the cedi.
No, but isn't it interesting though? I think what you're saying, you might have a point somewhere. You never know. You never know. This is coming to you as like as an insight or maybe as like an intuition thing, but they might have some sort of correlation or something.
So you see, we are going to look at something. The moment I start talking, I get no ideas. You see, what we are seeing with the ready case is like the dollar the dollar depreciating, right? Now, when you look at the issued cases as compared to from 15th there to there's another slope,
right?
So like dollar is also rising.
It is doing this sort of like, I don't know. Yes. It's so crazy. But if you see, so this is the ready cases, right? So obviously, as the week progress ahead of us, you can see that Accra is really working on ready cases. I think each week, starting from here, 08, which is March 8th, starting from here, I think it starts to drop like by 50. And then here it sort of stays the same for a bit. And then
that side was a little bit closer, maybe 10, 20.
10, yeah. And then it starts to drop by 50 again. And then here it's sort of staying close. And then when you look at the issue cases, it's the same thing as that, right?
Yeah.
You see the increase, and I think it's going by maybe 20 or something like that. It's just going up. And then if you take a look at it, the refuse under law also started trending down. Looking at it from, it almost stayed kind of the same.
For that side, we will not have a good slope just because it will be going up, down, because some of them will be changing and stuff.
Right. So yeah, it almost stays sort of like the same and all that. But Accra has such an interesting graph week by week. Kelvin, this paints a really, really good image week by week. So we are talking, this is March 1st, March 8th, March 15th, 22, 29th, and then we go into April 5th, 12th. Oh, nice. This is beautiful. Kelvin, I love this. This is so amazing. It paints a perfect picture, and I think people watching us will love this. Now let's go and take oh wow. Let's take a look at which country is this?
This one is Liberia.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
Liberia is the MRV.
Good. MRV. Good. Now, you see how every sort of country or every embassy in each country is kind of different. I mean, you're looking at it. This graph looks completely different. Well, maybe they are not having that impact with their dollar and like you mentioned, right? So make sense out of this for us, Kel.
Okay, so with the data that we are seeing right now, as we said earlier on, with the same color codes, it's used the same color codes. So the blues are the ready ones, the yellows are the issued, and we have the red, orange, little bit red, that is the refused under law, then the orange refused, then the pink is the AP, administrative processing. If I'm wrong with the colors, please pardon me because they are all close to the colors.
I think next time, please make the refuse under law and the refuse, those colors looks very, very similar. But go ahead.
Yeah, so looking at this one, it has some ups and downs, right? It has some up and down, but it looks like they also started small. With few numbers.
Yeah, look at it. It's
over
here.
Cases. Yes. Then from 22nd March, the ready cases boosted.
Yes.
That means the number of total number of cases also increased because now we are getting people moved to ready cases.
Wow.
Then they did some interviews with some people.
This is a big jump.
Yes.
Huge jump for Sierra Leone. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And then look at it. They started with, ready cases being in the 60s.
So in the 60s, yes.
Around there. And then all of a sudden, getting to March 22nd.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's actually 150 something, 155 with the ready cases. Yeah. But then isn't it interesting if you look at their graph, it seems like though they were having huge numbers in ready cases, their issue cases sort of like did not increase that much.
So at the
Plus
point,
refuse.
when we look at from 1st up to let's say 29th of March, right? We can see that they were competing. I don't know whether the people didn't have a lot of information or so. But you look at the first March shows that there were a lot of people that were refused, and there were a lot of people that were also in refused under law.
Yes.
Right. Then from 8 they increased the issued. Then it kind of gets down a little bit on the 29th of March, whereby the refused was getting closer to the issued. Then from there now they are issuing a lot of visas.
Wow. And then they had another big jump. It's like with them it's it's like panic attack. It's like they are slow or normal, and then something touches their heart and then boom, it just
yes.
it did the same
for me,
thing here.
I'm gonna rate Liberia 55% success, then 45% failure, just because when you look at or refused, when I say
this is Sierra Leone, right?
No, this is Liberia.
Liberia, okay.
Yes. So when you look at the 24th, right, you see that the refuse is kind of close to the issued as compared to Ghana.
Where is the 24th?
Ghana has a very vast difference.
Okay, 24th. Okay.
Ghana has a very vast difference.
Okay.
But this people, theirs is kind of close. That is why I'm giving them the 55% issued and 45% refused cases. Because even if you have, if those under the refuse and the law are also moved to the refuse, then it will increase.
Right.
It will increase the refuse. So they are okay, although but not fully. Okay
it doesn't seem like there's a lot of, even though they have a lot of ready cases.
Yes.
The graph of the issue and it's not really up there for me like that.
Hey, that's what I'm giving you
yeah.
that 55% because you can't really tell
whether they are moving or they are staying.
Yeah.
it's
like a lucky way. You go there and you're lucky, fine. If you're not, no. But for Ghana, you can see that there's a slope where you can talk about, and you don't see ups and downs in this kind of sections.
Yeah.
But this one, the slope is there, even though you see that there's a slope, but not fully okay like that.
Yeah. Ghana is issuing, at the end of the day, I think that's what we can conclude. There is a client of ours that came to us. We helped them. They missed their interview and we actually helped them, get the date back and everything. And just, I think it was last 2 days ago, they came up to me and they were saying that, the visa was approved and everything. And mind you, this person did not go in with education. They went in with, employment. So that was a tough one, especially going to Accra, but the case was still approved, right? Oh, wow. Which country is this?
So this is Togo. When you see LOM, it means Togo.
Oh, yeah. Lucky Togo. Togo is local. Oh my goodness. Look at Togo. They are issuing more visas than even ready cases.
Yes.
It seems like at this point, they were not even, like, they haven't really added a lot of ready cases. These guys are just issuing.
And you see, it's like Ghana money. Ghana appreciating against the dollar.
Right, exactly. It has the same sort of trend.
Yes.
Wow.
But when it comes to their ready cases, right? Ready cases is like up, down.
Yeah. It seems like there are some months that they just work on. They don't really add any ready cases. They just work on ready cases. And then there are some other months too that they add ready cases.
Yes.
So, and then I think their largest month or their largest week, looking at this whole data, is the 24th.
Yeah, 24th of May.
They added,
last Saturday. Yeah.
They added about, this is like 150 to 2. So they added about 50, almost 50 around there. So that's good. It looks like, I think this is the last data, right? Or we have more?
We have the last country, that is Sierra Leone.
Okay.
So Sierra Leone is the one that we were talking about, it, that they don't, their numbers is still the same, 79, right?
Yeah, you can look at it here. This did not move at all.
Yeah.
And then it seems like it's not moving at all. Look, it's a boring data. There's no trend. It's just boring. The graph is like me and me I'm just there.
But for those who have been chosen, I would say they are lucky, just because the issue part of it is a little bit higher, right?
It is.
And those refuse. But if you are not in that 79 circle and since they've not added on, it's kind of a problem, right?
Yeah. It seems like
if you're 79 and you've not gone for your interview or so, or you are still in the interview process, I believe for the issue part of it is okay for me.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And it seems like their refusal is at a good rate.
But their refusal also has increased.
Right. As I'm saying, it was good in the beginning, right?
Yes.
They weren't really refusing a lot. And then all of a sudden, they started to pick up.
No, but that one is even refused under law.
Oh, refused under law is the red one. Yes.
So the second line is, but at least I think they are trying to work on not refusing a lot of people, but people are still refused under law, which I don't know the case, but we know that refused under law can be documentations that they need to confirm before they tell you are refused or issued.
Right. And I think right now, some of the refuse under law, I don't know if it has something to do with, this is the last one, right?
Yes.
Good. I don't know if it has something to do with it. There's a lot of people coming to us, Kulturu Global, and letting us know that sometimes when they go to these countries, they send them back their country. I think almost 2 people came up to me. They told me that they went to one of, outside of their home country, and they looked at their case, they interviewed them and everything, but then they told them that they couldn't verify their documentation, so they should go back to their country. So I don't know if they are putting those people under refuse under law, or they are just not working on their cases at all, right?
Okay.
So we are going to be doing another video where we are going to be bringing you some of the new cases that are in the ready state, the case numbers and other things like that. So watch out for that video. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel, because you see how we are breaking numbers down here. It's going to help you a lot, especially if you are a winner. Make the correct decision on where to take your case. We are not going to make the decision for you. Remember, I told you I'm going to give you a key tip. The key tip that I'm going to tell you is that look at this number or these numbers that we are presenting to you, and look at your case number. Where does it fall? Does it fall between the thousands or below 1,000? Does it fall over 5,000? Does it fall over 10,000 or 20,000 or 30,000? It really depends on where you fall in the case number. Evaluate the country that you are in, the embassy of the country that you're in. By watching this video, you can look at their performance, and then you just do cross checks on, is it good for me
to choose this
country for my case number, right? A lot of people come to me, oh, what's the right embassy to choose? We cannot give you the right embassy because we don't have the full picture. The full picture is knowing your case number. That is the biggest one. The second thing is knowing how the country is doing. Right now, we know the full picture of how every country is doing, but that doesn't mean that country that is doing poor this year will be doing poor next year, right? Accra have been doing poor for almost three consecutive years, or maybe 2, if I'm not over exaggerating. But now, tada, they just come out and they are really like showing off. Accra is showing off, right? So make the decision. We just present the data to you. You make sense out of it. Kelv, we're good to go. All right, thank you so much. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Get more information. DV stats. If you want the best DV stats, especially for the continent of Africa and other things, is the right place for you. Thank you so much. God bless.
Some for to double chewa mina make us say Ghana ma media some the Debbie Bram who person to kai eba America who person who call Canada eba school hosia dia to go to global china kwai so person who call Dubai eba ye juma and that from piano baby piano person who call piano she should go to global china kwai eba na control that's a what tia obiti because where the music journey where so all this can send na no the journey go to global the yen tisa yeah Libi takazaka biala me to dago chewa ma jimejine mu no na tese ayade papa etisa wo hwamia no be na gu screen so no pa na fra wo go to kroba a wo mu ye buei wo mu du betu fa to the global